Yeah, the title challenge is very much on, isn't it, by his demeanour. They created some great chances, Leeds United, in that first half, and the intensity was there, just couldn't quite get the finish. And then on the stroke of half-time, something of a sucker punch that City went ahead when they did, but their quality, Alan, shone through. Yeah,
it was. They were under real pressure from Leeds, particularly the first 30 minutes or so, and it might have been an issue, you know, when months ago when Haaland was out, but not anymore when this guy's in the form that he's in. I mean, the goal has got quality all over it. You see the passing and the moving and the weight of pass is fantastic. Cherky, I thought, was outstanding, probably his best game. That weight of pass there when Aït-Nouri's passed it, then gone and ran into the box, and then you hear Semenyo, so he gets to that in-tap position and he smashes it across. Well, then it's his job when he does do that to get on the end of it, and his movement is brilliant. And he does get on the end of it and finishes, and that was the decisive goal. And I thought it was a really clever, tough performance from Manchester City today, and they had to work very, very hard for it.
Yeah, they threw everything at it in the second half, Leeds. They were desperate for that point, weren't they, towards the end of the game in particular, but they just couldn't breach, no matter how direct they went, they couldn't breach that Manchester City defence. What impressed you the most, Ashley?
No, I think that as good as this man on the screen, Anton Semenyo, has been as a signing, Mark Gay equally has been as good. So the two centre-backs in Ruben Diaz and Mark Gay were excellent today when Leeds were pushing. As you said, Leeds threw everything at it. And these two stood up to it. This is Mark Gay in the channel against Dan James, who's very fast, so he showed his pace there, he's cleaned it up. He's got his team back playing again. Here you can see the partnership working together. They're very close together, like all good centre-backs should be. Diaz sniffs out the danger and clears it. Again, they're tight, but you want your centre-backs to protect the goal. That's the main thing when you're under pressure. They're protecting the middle of the goal, snuffs out the danger. Again, Mark Gay there. It comes aerial duels, that's against Dominic Calvert-Lewin, wins his header, regains possession for his team. They did this all day. But this could be the start of one of the great centre-back pairings in the Premier League if they can get those two on the pitch, you know, for the rest of the season and going into next season.
Let's talk title race then, because they've kind of thrown the gauntlet down for tomorrow. Yeah. Of course, Arsenal taking on Chelsea. One defeat in 16 for City. Do you think this team, the way they are now, are capable of going on a run where they don't lose again?
I don't think they'll win every game, but I don't think Arsenal will either. But I think what they've done and what they did a couple of weeks back is over to you, Arsenal. The pressure's now on you, and Arsenal no doubt would have been watching that today and been impressed with that. But yeah, it's the same answer. Go and see what you can do, Arsenal.
As for Leeds, that's only their third defeat in 15. They've got Sunderland on Tuesday night, a victory against Sunderland at home, and they're well on their way to the points they need to survive.
Yeah, they've been impressive. Even today, they was really good. You know, playing against Manchester City, they didn't sit back. They full pressed. I think Daniel Farke's got them playing some good football now. They understand each other's roles, and as you say, if they go and get that win, I think they'll be all right.
Okay. Between Arsenal and Manchester United, or between Manchester City and Arsenal is what I should say. And it's not just about how strongly Manchester City finished the season. It's not just about the experience of the players. It's the fact that Pep Guardiola has this record of winning league titles in pretty much every season, certainly the vast majority of seasons that he manages club. 12 with 2 runners-up and 2 third places for him. I mean, that kind of experience, I was going to say can't be bought, but you can employ that kind of experience, but it's invaluable in the team.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, isn't it? I think he's never gone 2 consecutive seasons, is it, without winning a title. So I think the 2 third-place finishes we talked about off-air was his first season and last season, so he definitely knows what it takes to win the title. Of course he does, but I think Arsenal are better equipped this year, I'll be honest. I think listening
in terms of defensively, attacking.
Yeah, defensively, I think all over the pitch they're solid. OK, they're maybe not playing free-flowing football that you maybe expect a title-winning side to do, but you don't have to.
Correct.
You just win the league by all means necessary. Do whatever you have to do to win the league, and I think they might just have enough. But yeah, listen, it's all setting up for a fantastic end of the season. But Pep knows what it takes to win a title.
Micah, you know what it takes to win a title as well, pre-Pep Guardiola. And you mentioned that title-winning season when you're chasing down Manchester United until it all came to a head in the game against them, the 1-0 win against them. Does this, it's not exactly the same, but does this feel similar to that season, or can you see similarities?
It does, because we went to Old Trafford and we won 6-1. We got a little bit ahead of ourselves, let's say. We thought we were the better team. We looked at our squad and thought, yeah, they've got some top players, they've got experience. However, what we've got on the pitch and our bench, we always thought maybe it's a little bit stronger. If we needed to make a tactical change, I think we had more for the bench than them. And then when Vincent Kompany scored that header, he just started to believe. But it was mad because the game when we won the league, that QPR, and that's why we're talking about with the fixtures, expecting that game to just go swimmingly well, no problems at all. But the way it happened, Dzeko and then Aguero, last minute of the game was just incredible. And you go through, and people are talking about Arsenal and they're talking about the very emotional, but so are we. You have to be emotional because winning the Premier League, especially as a young boy who wants to play football, is absolutely everything. I was content with the FA Cup the season before. You go and win the Premier League, it's dreamland. So when people say Arsenal are overreacting and are very emotional, at times if you look at Arteta on the sideline, maybe, but he knows how much it means. And as a player, you look at every single detail. I remember going before a game and just thinking, I don't know if I can do this. It's too much for me. And then, you know, you win your first challenge and then you grow into it. And that's what Arsenal have to do.
Yeah, that fear of success is a really
Correct.
strange phenomenon. But for Manchester City and for Arsenal, this is going to be a fantastic run-in. They're also going to play each other, Micah, in the Carabao Cup final a couple of weeks' time. I just wonder if whatever happens here has a bearing on what happens on April the 18th or whenever they play each other.
You wouldn't be human if it didn't. If Man City were to win that...
You know, generally teams don't win both, do they? If this kind of situation
but it's the
happens.
confidence that it gives you. If they go
Gives
with
you a
that,
psychological boost.
psychological battle. But however, if Arsenal were to win that, it gives them the belief as well. That's why this season it's so entertaining.
And also it'll tell us about maybe their focus. So if one of them is like, the league is the one in our sights, sometimes the cup competition can kind of go by the wayside a bit. But we'll at least get a little taster before we get to the main course.
Yeah, listen, it's all setting up to be a fantastic end of the season. I think I'm with you guys. I think it's whoever wins that cup, it could give them a psychological big boost. It'll be interesting to see if City do get ahead of Arsenal, how Arsenal then react, and even how City react by being in front, because there's a totally different pressure. It's easy to chase. It's harder to stay there, so it'll be interesting if they do manage to get there to see what it's, you know, how they go about it.
So, yeah, and we talk about the title race. Let's open up the conversation to that. Look, Pep has never gone successive seasons as a manager without winning a title. He's won, titles in 12 of 16 seasons. He is a genius.
Well, he's going to win one this year for sure.
Which one will he win?
He's got 4, so...
Yeah, he's got 4, but Arsenal have 4 as well, so...
Yeah, I don't know which one he's going to win, but he's going to win one. And he might win 2, he might win 3.
Most likely to win?
Well, I think they'll beat Real Madrid in the Champions League. Second legs at the Etihad, I think they'll beat them. Obviously in the EFL Cup final against Arsenal, let's be honest. They're probably favourites in that. Got Newcastle.
The big question is, they're going to win the league. I think that's what Seamus getting at.
I was waiting for him to get to that.
Are they going to win the league?
Thanks,
got 4 trophies.
Just stop going around the houses here. Just stop going around the houses.
I'm not going around, just think I think they could win all 4.
Are they going to win the Premier League?
Oof. Well, I think it goes up. The game at the Etihad is obviously against Arsenal. I think that's the one. They have the experience in their favour. I think right now, for me, Arsenal are still favourites. I think they found a run of form. But if you look at, you know, some of the games that they have coming up.
33 could be the defining moment.
That's the game. If Arsenal draw there, I think Arsenal win the league. But, you know, again, you look at Arsenal's fixtures, they don't really... You know, I think Arsenal are favourites in a lot of those games.
If it's neck and neck when it comes to that big game when they play each other, it'd be interesting to see how Arteta approaches that game. Because in years gone by, he's come to the same sort of crossroads and he's gone and sort of parked the bus. But now they've got maybe a couple of points advantage. There's more reason they park the bus.
A draw's good enough, isn't it?
A draw's good enough, but at the same time, Arsenal fans might look at that and go, why not we go there and have a go? Because we've got some amazing attacking players ourselves as well. But for us as neutrals, it sets up for a brilliant finish to the... There's no easy game. Even Pep says he can't guarantee they can go on a run now.
Yeah,
there's no easy games in the Premier League, home or away.
Does what happens in the League Cup final impact which way this goes?
Big time. Yeah, big
Psychological.
The team that wins gets a ton of confidence, don't they?
Big time. I think if City beat them in the final, I think they could throw Arsenal big time. Just purely from a psychological point of view, they've got, you know, this sort of thing over them that they're going to be stronger, going to finish better, and Arsenal have not been there before. Can they hold off this pressure?
Yeah, there is pressure, isn't there?
Yeah.
But this is exactly why we love the Premier League, because it looks like this is going all the way down to the very end.
Let's take a look at that record that we mentioned there for Manchester City so far this season. Across those 11 games, he's hit the ground running for City. He comes in, yes, he knows the league, but you asked him about it there, coming in and delivering what Pep Guardiola expects from you. When you're asked to play in slightly different positions, it's not as easy as he's made it look.